Hey you guys, it's Lori here. I'm coming to you live and we're going to talk all about mindset today. And I always like to have like my phone or another device next to me to say like, am I actually live? Is it actually working? Sometimes I come in live via Zoom. Sometimes I come in live just right from Facebook. So different ways. But if you are here live with me today, please come into the chat room and let me know that you are here. If we haven't met yet, I am Lori Kampa Kearney. I am a certified integrated nutrition health coach, certified yoga instructor, and also a business coach and the founder of Workshops Done Academy, which is a fully step-by-step implementation program for health coaches to grow their business with workshops. Hi, Erica. I'm so glad that you are here. So as you're coming in, hi, Tracy. Nice to see you. As you come in, let me know what holds you back in your business. So often when I'm working with health coaches, the problem is that they're holding themselves back. They're getting in their own way. And I know that has definitely been the case for me, that I've had these patterns of my life, these negative thoughts that I brought into adulthood. And it's taken a lot of work, a lot of personal work. But when we believe in ourselves, right, when we truly believe what in our capabilities, we can go further in our work. If we feel like we're not good enough, are we going to be putting ourselves out there? Probably not, right? So I'm so grateful. Many of you have messaged me and you commented in our Facebook group with some issues. So we're going to be talking a little bit about that today. So we'll be here for 20 minutes. Hi, Amy. Hi, Christine. Hi, Ruby. Oh, yeah. Ruby says she needs a reboot. So I'm so glad that you are coming in for all of these Facebook Lives, because this is kind of a reboot too. When you have that inspiration and you're surrounded by other people who are going big in their careers, it's fun. It's fun to have that and to be inspired to go, okay, this is what I'm doing. So if you have anything, hi Mary Beth, that you want to talk about, go ahead and put it on there. Otherwise, I'm going to just, bring up what some people have talked about. So Debbie talked about something that is so common, and this is probably the number one thing that I hear, is she says, my biggest mindset struggle is just putting myself out there. I need to get past it and do it, she just says. So one of the things, Debbie, and I know Debbie was not able to be here live today, but some of the questions I would love to ask Debbie, or if you're on live with us today and if this is something that resonates with you, let me know, what does it mean to you to put yourself out there? Because that might be different for everyone, just like the word success is different for everyone. What are the roadblocks that you are encountering to put it yourself out there? What do you need to get past? So a lot of times it's really not a roadblock that is a hard roadblock. A lot of times it is more of a mental roadblock of just feeling that you're good enough. So my biggest advice is something that I've been working on my entire life, is to not worry what other people think about you. And I know you're like, what? That's so hard. But validation about who we are actually comes from what we think about ourselves, right? It doesn't come from external sources of how many clients we have. It doesn't come from a look that somebody may or may not have given us and we're overthinking this. So we need to train the brain. We all know from coaching school, there's a lot to do with mindset of, back in the day, we needed to have these negative brains to run from the tigers, right? To have that fear. And so our brain tries to make up fear all the time. So we need to train it that we don't need to listen to these excuses. We don't need to procrastinate anymore from going big, right? Because these are just excuses to not follow your dreams. And that's like, this is your purpose in life, right? This is what you are here to do. So we need to get past that. Like you said, just do it. Yes, that's easier said than done. But I know Debbie's in the Workshops Done program, and I know we talked about in the program about taking action, and it really resonated with her. So I just want to remind you, Debbie, like, this is the quote that resonated with you that you were going to frame, and maybe you did. And I love this quote. It's an affirmation. It says, I love taking action, and I wrote it down here. I feel courageous and exhilarated by taking action. And I build extreme momentum and prosperity when taking action. So I know when I make one step forward, it gets me excited that I might take the next step. So sometimes when we say getting out there, we think about, okay, I need to go be doing one webinar a week. That's a big goal, right? We need to break it down. Think about everything that you need to do to get to that point. And it's practicing, it's having content, feeling confident in that. Then you get to there. So we don't want to compare ourselves with other people that have been doing the business longer or anything like that. So let me know if that resonates with you. Yeah, so Erica's saying, yes, always in my own way. Oh my goodness, I hear you. Always also feel imposter syndrome. Yeah, I had that definitely, Erica. When I first started to become a health coach, I thought, why would anybody listen to me? I was eating, pizza and popcorn and drinking lots of wine and eating unhealthy for most of my life. Why are they going to listen to me now? And then I switched my thought process like, oh, they absolutely want to hear from me because I get where they were. I get that I didn't know how great life could be because I was in it. I was living this overly scheduled, stressed out life, right? So when I changed my mindset about that, oh, I didn't have all this education my whole life about eating healthy, I was like, okay, now I'm coming to it in a different way. My story changed. Nothing else changed. It was how I thought about myself. So yeah, and Erica says, sharing vulnerable stories. Absolutely, tell those stories. She said in her health wellness journey, yeah, sometimes she'll wake up and I just can't believe you share. Oh, she said sometimes like she'll wake up and go, I can't believe I just shared that. Yeah, and I feel the same way, that sometimes I'm like, oh my goodness, I really am getting comfortable sharing more things, but the more I share about truly what some of my issues are, what has set me back in the past and what has helped me, that the easier it is for other people to relate and that they can get past what they need. So yeah, Christine says, that's where I struggle, finding something to talk about. Okay, Christine, let me know what you mean about struggling, about a story, like a vulnerable story. Is that what you mean? Monica says imposter syndrome. So I just want to ask you, everybody who has this imposter syndrome, because there's a couple of you now coming into saying this, imagine what would it feel like if you believed in yourself. Imagine you as a successful health coach without that negativity. And then go ahead with your business in that way. Do you see the difference? Like how that feels, that energy in your body? When you have that imposter syndrome, you're having this heavy weight just on you. So I realized early on, like, oh my goodness, I cannot stay this way. Like this is going to hold me back if I don't believe in myself. The fact that I worked, corporate jobs for 25 years before becoming a health coach, all of that, I switched the story around to say, this is where I was. I was in corporate America, so I can relate more to that. So think about your story and how you can turn it around so it's going to be more positive to you. But yeah, we absolutely need to train our brains so we don't need to listen to these excuses to not follow our dreams. Our brain is going to tell us what we need to do to be the safest. It doesn't want us to go into danger. So what's the safest? Not doing anything. Saying, oh, I'm not good enough. No one's going to listen to me, right? That's the safest. That is not true. We have to come up with a new narrative in our brain. It is possible to train the brain. I used to be, and this, I can't even, I feel like I was a completely different person at this time, but about 95% negative. Like that is, I was, depressed, had high anxiety. And I just think if I can turn myself around, I mean, anybody can turn themselves around. And, Em talked about, she had a question. She just said, how to live this abundant life when there's all these negative people around you. So I'll talk about that next, because I know I am like an empath, like I'm very sensitive, and I notice most health coaches are, right? We have this gift, and we all have this to some extent, right? We have this empathy because this is how we connect with other people. We have this connection in our brains. It's given to us so we can understand how other people feel. Some of us have it stronger than others, and so for me, it's very strong. So I think of it as a gift and a little bit of a curse. So I have to set healthy boundaries when I'm around family or people that are negative, that don't want help, different things like that. Now I've had this with a couple people in my life that are really close to me, and what has helped is to talk to them, to let them know, like, this is how I see this, and this is how it's affecting my energy. And when I used to work in corporate America, where I felt like I couldn't really have those conversations, there was people you just had to work with because you were in projects together, I tended to redirect. And after a while, when they would notice, when they would talk negative about the boss, and I wouldn't say, yes, oh my gosh, I get it, and I wouldn't go into their stories, it wasn't fun to talk to me about those negative things. I would just redirect, or stick up for that person, or say something nice, even though I maybe agreed with them. Sometimes I'll even say, like, well, what's something positive about today? Uh, Now, I have two teenage daughters, and one thing that we've been practicing almost their whole lives is gratitude. And I think helping to others in your life to practice gratitude is a way of, you're not really talking about their negativity, but you're helping them feel more appreciative, which in all is going to help them see the bright side of things. So again, don't worry about what they're thinking. Don't worry about what they might be saying about you. You need to take care of yourself. That's the most important thing, to know how you're thinking about yourself. Also, it's very important to surround yourself with like-minded, positive, inspirational people. So being in groups like this, gathering together as health coaches to help each other and to be that person that can help somebody else when they post and say, I'm overwhelmed, this is what's going on, or right here in this Facebook Live. We need to be there for each other. I'm just going to come into the chat room real quick. Yeah, so Christine says, that's where I struggle, finding something to talk about in a content, like in webinar. Okay, so Christine, so I hope you are going to be part of the Workshops Done program next year, or in January, because that's what I give, done for you content on what to talk about in all different settings. So if that is your main issue, that is solved, checked off your list. Monica says, the more successful I am, the worse I have it, the imposter syndrome. Isn't that amazing? Because when you get higher, it gets scary. It gets scary. Like I'm been spending a lot of time on Workshops Done, and I'm redoing some of the curriculum, and I'm just going much bigger, and it's and so I get scared, and sometimes I'm like, oh, I can't do this, and I think, oh my goodness, that is just my brain just trying to say, keep it safe. You don't need to do this. So notice, right? We all know when we talk to our clients, we talk about awareness. Awareness is the first thing when we talk about, what are you eating? What are you being mindful about? It's the same thing when we detox the junk food out of our minds. In the Workshops Done program, we go through a cleanse of the junk of the mind, because it is that important for your success to be a successful health coach, to get rid of that. Christine says, I can't imagine you negative. Yeah, and like I might say something that I might have tears in my eyes, but yes, to the point that I couldn't even feel grateful that I had like kids, like that I didn't want to be around anymore. So yeah, okay. So there, that's being vulnerable right there, right? So again, but if I can do it, like it takes work, it's affirmations, it's going, I don't need that crap. That is not true. That is not true. So we just have about 5 more minutes after I just laid that bomb on you guys. Okay, so Ruby says, sometimes it's hard to maintain a positive mindset if you hear no's, which I know are part of the process, but it still stings. Yeah, but you know what, Ruby? I think too, if we can focus on the no's or we can focus on all the yeses. And every time I have a failure, mistakes, and we're all going to have them, that is just a stepping stone in success. We need to have these mistakes. We need to have these no's so we can learn to go to the next step. So it is a part of our life, and you just have to brush it off and go, what did I learn from this? Okay, this is what I learned. That was a really good lesson. Now let's go forward with that. Yeah, but I hear what you're saying, Ruby. Holly, hi Holly. I struggle getting the technical stuff done to get visible. Okay, yeah, so if you don't like, if something in your business is setting you back, it's like weight on your shoulders, it is so helpful to pay the money to have somebody help you do it. So, and I have a VA that if you guys need some help, he has some time to do some things, and he's fairly new, so he's still inexpensive, but I use him. And if you're just like, I need a landing page done, I need this thing done, you need to do that, because or else you might spend all day figuring out how to do one thing when you should have been working on creating your business in a bigger way, right? Instead of being bogged down with that. Christine says, this is a great group. Thank you. I think so too. Oh yeah, Christine, remember. So let me just go back. I just want to see the next one. Kathy said, oh yeah, Kathy says she struggles with time to create newsletter and really good content. Yeah, that is a struggle that I have too. Everybody, a lot of people that do. And another struggle she has is a familiar one, is that she works full time in addition to building her business. I have a couple clients this month and always seem to be running into the shoulds. I've been taught to time block, but I can't seem to prioritize. So first of all, there's a lot here, and I only have a couple more minutes left, but think about your core content. So, crowding out with water, veggies, taking a break, different things like your core content, repurpose it. Use it over and over and over again. We do not want to talk about different things all the time. You need to repeat yourself, 5 times. So having an email that can be a Facebook post, that can be a Facebook Live, obviously those are all going to go together in the same week. But you can do something, repurpose that in a little bit different way a couple weeks later, right? So there was a great podcast, Amy Porterfield. It was just about a week or 2 ago, and her podcast is called Online Marketing Made Easy. She talks about how to repurpose your core content. So I would advise you to look that up. It's Amy Porterfield, Online Marketing Made Easy. Again, it was just like maybe a week or 2 ago that I listened to that about content. But also, when you are working, and right now I am working a little bit more than usual, but I have to have my healthy boundaries of what time you're going to be done. My fiance has a full-time job, plus he's an author, and so it's like, okay, once your day job is done, it's done. If it comes into your mind, you have to keep it out. And then you have your time for your other job. So if you're going to be working from 6:30 to 7:30 each night, and maybe 4 hours on each weekend, you need to have a plan. I think it's good to have a plan for anybody, but I think about, what's the 1 to 5 things that have to get done to plan. And sometimes when I get overwhelmed, first of all, that word overwhelmed, it's not that you have too much stuff to do, right? It's your mind telling you you have too much stuff to do. So let's get that straight first, is that you're telling yourself you're overwhelmed. So we need to train the brain to be different. We want to come to work with empowerment and strength instead of not being good enough and overwhelmed. Do you feel that difference of that energy of how that is. When I work too much, I know that I need to come in with more self-care. I need to come in with less hours, but when I work, I'm more focused. Sometimes I need to like brain dump, meaning I will write down everything that needs to get done, all the little things, and then I can go, okay, what are the 5 little things to go down to this one big goal that I can get done today? Or in the next hour, this is what I'm going to do. I like to do the Pomodoro method where I work for 25 minutes. You don't go on social media, you don't answer your phone, you don't look at text messages, and then you take a 5-minute break. You go back because it is so easy to get distracted, and our brain, right, when we go and we're focused on something and then we go to something else and we come back, that's really hard on our brain to do that. So we need to think about batching the time to do that. Oh, Erica says, I need this. His info. Okay, so Erica, do you want to just message me and I'll send you his information. Okay, Mary Beth, maybe I'll just put it in the Facebook group. But yeah, he's great. He's an occupational therapist that I love, like helping people who have dreams. So, but he really he loves helping wellness companies on their tech side. And so he works like 4 days a week as an OT and then does VA services, tech stuff. So it's really nice that I can just be like, hey, I need, like these Facebook lives, he's making a page on my Facebook so that they're going to be easy to find there. That's going to be going live soon, and I didn't have to worry about it. I just said, this is what I want done, and then he can do that. Yeah, and Christine is saying, I love time chunking. Yeah, absolutely. We need to do that so our brain can just be focused and do that. So you guys, I have to run because I have another client. I have a client at 2:30. See, talk about time chunking. On Wednesdays, I see all clients, and I do this Facebook Live. So like tomorrow, I teach yoga tomorrow. But like yesterday, I didn't wear any makeup. I didn't do my hair because I just had an admin day all day. so that's how I time check it too. Like, when do I have to get ready? When do I not have to get ready? Stuff like that. So anyway, thank you guys so much for tuning in live. And for those of you watching the replay, please put in the comments you're watching the replay. And if you have not grabbed my freebie, the 10 must-haves, to give your first webinar, I will put the link on there too so you can have that. But thank you guys so much and have an awesome week, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye, you guys.